Welcome to Mysteries Niger. I'm your host, Esther. Welcome to another Murderer's Wife episode. And as you know, it always begins with a wedding. This happens in the north, Kano State. The couple, they just had their wedding. Color of the day was white and gold. Couldn't be more beautiful. They're smiling in front of the camera. The husband looks a bit shy. The wife looks as happy as you'd expect. And she also looks quite young. She's 18. He's 30, but we've heard of worse. They get married, go home. Everyone's expecting nothing but marital bliss. But 9 days later, emergency help service is being called to the couple's home. They walk into the house and they see a victim on the floor with their throat cut, actively dying, and the victim is being rushed to the hospital. Before they die, even though their throat has been slashed, they're still able to tell the authorities exactly what happened to them. So, the authorities go for the other partner. Come with us, please. Your partner's dead. And before they died, they told us that you, Saudat Jibril, slashed your husband, Salisu Idris, in the throat. Wanna tell us why? This case is especially shocking for most people, regardless of when you find out about it, because for one, it's about marriage, which we naturally tie to love, but it's also about a bride who became a suspect. They had been married for only 9 days, a new home, a new beginning, a marriage that had barely started, and then one day, boom, husband dead, and his young bride became the person accused of killing him. So it opens up so many questions about the nature of their marriage and the root of their union. Was it a forced marriage? Was it an abusive marriage? Was it a contractual marriage? What kind of marriage was it? Because there ought to be a reason a young bride would kill her husband in just 9 days of marriage, despite being all smiles at her wedding less than 2 weeks ago. We really have no information about this case, even though it was making headlines. We really don't know much about the victim or the perpetrator, which is the wife herself. All we know is that in May 2025, residents of Farawa quarters in Kano State woke up to a news about a disturbing domestic tragedy. According to police report, it was the wife, Saudat Jibril, that murdered her 30-year-old husband, Salisu Idris. The husband is pronounced dead. Authorities, when they got to the hospital, they saw the husband battling for his life with his throat slashed. They asked him, what happened? He manages to tell them, my wife did it. They're wondering, your wife did it? You're a young, healthy looking man. Besides, minus the throat, you're tall, super tall, hefty. How would a wife do this to you? Especially since in that region, the women are always petite, smaller frame. So how would your wife do this to you? And he tells them, well, my wife told me that she had a surprise for me. You know, it could be anything. They're still in their honeymoon phase. So she tells him, I have a surprise for you. Can you close your eyes? And he does. He's drunk in love. Next thing he knows, stinging, burning pain in his throat. She had just attacked him. People couldn't really understand. People couldn't believe it. The tabloids ran with the story. We don't know who started the rumor first, but they ran with the story that because she was of a tinier frame than the husband, there was no way she could have done this by herself. So she must have poisoned him first to weaken him and then cut his throat. But according to police report, there are no mentions of a poison, although that's what you're gonna find if you do one research about this case. But according to police report, there are no mentions of poison. She just told him to close his eyes. She has a surprise, and the knife was the surprise. She was arrested, and the police started to run their investigations, and eventually they charged her with culpable homicide after inquiries were completed. As of the 30th of July 2026, the court found her guilty of culpable homicide, and she was sentenced to capital punishment of death by hanging. And so many people still don't know how to feel feel about this case. We have very little information about the case. We still don't know why or what was presented to the court as to their charges. The prosecutors, what did you tell the judge? What did you tell the court? How did they find her guilty? Of course, she cut him in the throat. That is pretty clear. Yes, she's guilty because the throat cut killed him. But there could be reasons like, say, battered wife syndrome or other reasons. We would like to know the root cause of her actions. We're not disputing that she's not guilty, but we would like to know what led to that action, because as humans, we don't like uncertainties. Otherwise, we speculate. So right now, this case has people speculating a lot. Like, was there conflict in the marriage? Say abuse, say misunderstandings, say disagreements. Was there a deeply rooted hatred for both partners or one of the partners by the other? Was this a forced marriage? Because forced marriage could lead to something like that. Say the girl has someone else she was in love with, but the family forces her to marry someone who's better for the family, someone she barely likes, let alone love, and she has to accept this person in every sense of the word marriage. She could feel trapped. Or was this a result of sexual abuse, which ties to the forced marriage theory again? If she didn't like him to begin with, can't stand him, can't even imagine ever being intimate with him, and he's like, "You're my wife." Could that have led to the situation? Or was it a mental health situation where no one knew that she wasn't prepared for a big step in her life, a life-changing change like that, and responsibilities from living with your parents, being taken care of, worrying about nothing, to now having a home of yours, running the home, doing all those chores, and also expected that someday you're going to bring offspring, tiny ones gonna be like walking germs, and you have to keep them alive on top of every other thing you're already doing. Maybe that could have made her snap out of fear of the future. Was that what happened? Or something? Was she just murderous? Just snapped one day and it happened? While others think, was the husband just unfortunate? Say he was a good man, as good as he could be, no bad blood. The wife wasn't forced to marry him. He never hurt her, never abused her, nothing. She just woke up one day and was done with the marriage. Maybe woke up one day regretting her decision to be married and wanted to be free and stabbed him. It had nothing to do with him. He could have tried to help if he knew she was unhappy with him, but he was just unaware and unfortunate. Was that what happened? Unfortunately, we don't know. All we know is an 18-year-old girl was married, killed her husband, taken to court, and the court found her guilty, and she is sentenced to death at the age of 19. At the age of 19, you've been an adult for only a year. But so far, some people would like to feel sorry for her. Others would like to hate her, but we can't, because we don't even know how to begin to feel about this case. And if you're feeling like, no matter what, this is injustice, let me tell you another story. Because today's episode is quite short. Let me tell you another story that we're hoping this particular case, this man ought to be found out, arrested, investigated. In fact, skip the investigation. He's guilty. Sentence him to death. If you live in a place where there are buses or like interstate trips or even just around the state, you know that some people cannot keep their mouth shut in a vehicle. They have to talk. They feel awkward, uncomfortable in a silent situation. There are people that love silence, and those people always manage to find themselves with people or end up loving people that just can never shut up, even to save their lives. But what happens when people who prefer silence meet people who love to talk? What happens when two yappers meet each other? Sorry for everyone else, yeah? But you want to know the most deadly of the combination? When a yapper who always has to have the final say meets a yapper who always has to be right. Deadly. Because the one who always has to be right at times might do everything to be right. The one who always has to have the final say will always be the last to speak. No matter your point, no matter what you say, he will always have something to say about it because he always has to have the final say. At times harmless. They just need to have the final say. What brand is your bag? Oh, it's Chanel. I don't really like Chanel. Why? It's expensive. Yeah, it's for the elite. No, it's not. It's just for people who like to burn cash. No, it's prestigious, it's classy. Like I said, it's expensive. Not everyone can afford it. But I also think it's not worth the money. Why not? Does it really have to be that expensive? Yes, because it's for selected people. No, I think it's just for people who don't know what to do with money. You know what? You're right. Of course I'm right. Okay. I don't like Chanel. If I had money right now, I'm not going to buy Chanel. If someone gifted me Chanel, who am I to say no? Okay. Yeah, sure. That's how conversations go with people who always have to have the final say. One of those yappers who always has to be right had passengers in the vehicle. The entire bus is filled with people. The front passenger is another yapper who always has to have the final say. The driver always has to be right. So they hit it off. They started talking about anything and everything, and everyone else in the bus are just like, oh my god, when are they gonna shut up? And at some point, the passenger starts to disagree with the driver about a certain thing they were talking about. The driver starts to get angry, and the passenger doesn't want to be bullied into acceptance. They're like, no. They keep having the final say. They keep stating more points. The driver's like, I'm right. I know better. Expecting the passenger to just concur with them and say, yeah, sure, you're right. But the passenger's like, I have to have the final say. The driver starts to get angry. This yapper passenger is still yapping away. And the driver, he's just like starting to shut up slowly. This other passenger is way younger than the driver, so he's still learning nuances. He doesn't understand. The driver isn't getting quiet because he is winning the conversation, but because this old fart is starting to get angry. Everyone else in the bus, they're starting to like tap him or something. Zip it, shh. Eventually, the passenger zips it. But it was already too late. The driver at this point was at the land of no return. He spots a trailer parked on the roadside far ahead. He looks to the passenger, looks back at the trailer, his mind made up, zeroes in on the trailer, drives at full speed, aligns the car to hit the trailer that's parked, and to ensure only half of the bus will collide with the trailer. And you guessed it, the passenger side. And he collides full speed into the trailer. The passenger, he instantly died for not agreeing in massaging the ego of some old fart. And the other passengers in the vehicle, some were badly injured. Everyone was badly injured, traumatized. The passenger at the front died. The driver didn't waste no time. The minute he recovered from the impact, looks to his right. Passenger did. He grabbed his things, jumped out of the bus, and took off. Ran all the way back to his village. The police are called. Help is being called for the accident victims. They get there. The front passenger guy was pronounced to be dead at the scene. We don't know who he is currently because the police are still looking into the case. The other passengers, most were badly injured, needed to be rushed to the hospital for medical help. Others were like traumatized and not that badly injured. So they're being asked, what happened? Where's the driver? How did this happen? This trailer was parked. Clearly, it's parked on the side. Didn't he see it? So they all told the authorities. We were in the other lane. He switched over to this lane and rammed in on purpose because he had a disagreement when discussing with the front passenger, the victim that died. So the police, they look into the transit. Oh, it's registered to a company. They go to the company who was driving this vehicle on this day. They got his name. We still don't know yet. We have his picture circulating, but we don't know who he is yet, his name or anything. We're still waiting for more information to come out. They got his name, found out where he's from. They looked for him. He wasn't. Where would he run to? He's an old gas bag. So they ran all the way back to his village, and lo and behold, there he is, hiding out in his village. Soon we'll get more information about him, like his name, so we know him, hopefully taken to court to pay for his crime. Because why on earth would you think it's appropriate for any reason at all to ram your vehicle into a trailer? That's what nightmares are made of. And if anyone deserves a death sentence, an eye for an eye, it's him. And we hope the authorities look into this case to the fullest of its course and he's punished. That's all I have for you today. Do let me know what you think of the cases, especially the last one, which is why I'd say at times, please zip it, especially when you're meeting strangers. You have no idea who you're speaking to, if they have murderous tendencies or not. You only know yourself. Do let me know what case you'd like for me to talk about next time. Please leave your thoughts and opinion in the comment below. Please follow the show. Share it with family and friends. Live and let live. Very important. Take care of yourself. Be your brother's keeper. I will see you in the next one. Bye.